Welcome back to Set Us Up. And in this series, we're building our NAS device. And this video, we're going to show how to install SSL certificates from Let's Encrypt. These are free SSL certificates, so we can have encrypted file transfers with our own cloud and other applications we're going to put on the server. So with that, let's begin. Okay, so here we are back in our Windows machine. And in order to prepare for installing SSL certificates on our NAS device, we need to open up a couple ports on the firewall. The reason for this is that we're using Let's Encrypt, and the program or the script that runs has to do verification, which means that the Let's Encrypt server out on the internet is going to connect into our NAS device. And it connects in through ports 80 and 443, which are the HTTP and the HTTPS ports. So we're going to get into our firewall and put in our admin account information, and we're logged in. So we go under firewall and we go to NAT, and here we need to create two port forwards. So I'm going to click on add. The first port forward is going to be coming in from the WAN interface. It'll be TCP protocol. The destination is going to be any address, and the port is going to be HTTP. Now I could have put in port 80 custom, but this is more readable. So if the destination port is HTTP, we want to redirect to our NAS device, which is sitting behind the NAT at 192.168.1.200. And the redirect port is going to go to HTTP. And for a description, we'll just say HTTP redirect to NAS. Everything else is good. We'll click save. All right, so now we need one more for HTTPS. It'll be exactly the same setup, except that our port will be HTTPS. Same IP address of the NAS, and redirect target is HTTPS. We'll put in HTTPS redirect to NAS. The description is just for us. Save, and everything looks good, so we'll hit apply, and we're done. That's the setup on the firewall. So now we're going to switch back and go to PuTTY. Maximize this. And I've already secure shell connected to the NAS. So what do we want to do? First thing, let's run yum update, make sure we're all up to date. Okay, so I was checking on some things because it seemed to be taking a long time to do the update, but it finally went through, and it looks like that it wants to do an update. There's a couple of packages, so we'll just say yes. We'll go ahead and get those updated. It looks like we got a warning here. Let's check this out. Unable to load dynamic library XSL, and it looks like it's because it cannot find this file right here. So let me see if we can just install that file. I'm not sure why it would be missing, but libexslt. Nothing there. I'm going to do a quick search. So it might be, let's see if it's this. Nope. libexslt. I need to use a wildcard. See what we get. I found it. Okay. So it's called libxslt. There's no, okay, I was missing this. So anyway, this is what we want. So we'll hit yes. All right, so that should take care of that. If we go back and look, it was airing. Oh, I'm sorry, scrolled off. No, there it is. So PHP is, so let's run PHP and make sure that's working. Yes, there was no error. So if it -v, yeah, so that should have taken care of that. So now we're up to date. So what we have to do is download the SSL part of Apache web server. So let's do yum install. It's called mod SSL. Okay. Yes, we want to install. Done. We also want to install the certbot script. And certbot is made by the Let's Encrypt organization. Let's Encrypt provides free SSL certificates that are real SSL certificates, and you don't have to pay for them. And so I find that these work great. I use them on all of my servers that are exposed to the internet and never had an issue with it. So the script for that is called python-certbot-apache. And of course, it's got to download Python and some other files. So it's a few files it has to download. We'll say yes. And all of these commands, of course, I will put into the notes for this video. Okay, we're done. So that's that. So let's make sure that Apache is running. So let's get us a status on HTTPD. And as you can see, it says active running, so we're good. So we've already done our firewall. And if we want to check that we can hit from the outside, we could go, I can use my phone, get on the cellular network and try to go to HTTPS and the IP address, public IP address, and see if I can hit the server, which brings up another point. We need to have a fully qualified domain name like nas.setusup.info, and that means we got to have a name server. Now I use Namecheap for my domain names, and I have already put into my domain setusup.info is with Namecheap, and I've already put into the name server an A record entry for nas.setusup.info that points to our public IP address. So I went ahead and logged into my Namecheap account, and I just want to show you what this looks like. And it's under, for Namecheap, it's under Advanced DNS. As you can see, I've got an A record here for the host NAS. It's pointing to the public IP address. It's as simple as that. So anyway, we'll continue. Let me minimize that down. Now, all we have to do is run the script. It's called certbot. So sudo certbot. We're going to tell it what kind of server we have, which is Apache, and then the domain that we want to register. So it's going to be nas.setusup.info. And we'll hit enter. Put in the password. All right, it's asking for an email address to use for security notices. So I'm going to put in my admin account, email account. Now it's doing its connection. It's asking us to agree to terms of service, so we'll hit A, enter. And I want to share my email address. Now, in this case, since I'm just doing this as a test, I'm going to say no. All right, now it's coming back and saying it cannot find a virtual host. Okay, because it needs to prove that I control the domain. So what does a virtual host mean? Well, this is an Apache configuration. So let's go look at etc httpd. If you go to conf, this is where the standard httpd conf file is. If we do a search for virtual, we see this in the comments, 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 comments. And we've wrapped around. There is no virtual anything that's been set up. So we're going to exit out. I'm going to go to conf.d, and I'm going to create a conf file that is going to have our virtual host definition in it. So we always had to do sudo nano. Let's call this certbot, name doesn't matter, .conf. Now, for this conf file, we need to put in virtual host, and I want to match everything coming in on port 80. All right, let's go ahead and close that. And then inside of here, we need two things. One, the server name, and that's going to be NAS, that's setusup.info. And we also want the document root, which is going to be var www.html. Oops. And that's it. So now we need to restart Apache. And now we can rerun certbot. There we go. We're done. So as you can see right here, it created a SSL virtual host right there. It created a conf file for us. It also put the certificates here. Well, not the certificates, but the certificate definitions are in the same conf file. Now it's asking, do we want to redirect all HTTP traffic to HTTPS and remove HTTP access completely? And that's completely up to you. I'm going to say yes, because I don't want anything hitting my server that isn't encrypted. So that's option 2. And we're done. Now we can do a test right here by going to this website. So I'm going to highlight that and then bring up my browser and paste that in. And it will try to connect to the NAS device, and it will report on the whether can it, and what kind of SSL we have set up. This just takes a moment. Okay, we're done. We got a pretty good rating here of A, certificate 100%, protocol support, key exchange, site exchange. Let's look at our settings here. Trusted, yes. Additional certificates. Here is our certificate. Oh, that's the Let's Encrypt It certificate. Configurations, okay. It's warning us about using these old TLS protocols, and we can turn those off. And we got some more weak, and this is by default with CentOS that these are enabled. So let's test it out. So if we go to HTTPS, let's say NAS, you notice it gives us not secure, and the common name is invalid. And the reason is I didn't put nas.setusup.info. But I'm going to proceed anyway. And you notice if I click here and we get a certificate, it is our certificate, and it's issued to nas.setusup.info. So let's do that. Let's see if we can get to it like that. There we go. And the certificate is valid. Now let's say we want to go to OwnCloud. Now, when we installed OwnCloud, we installed it with just NAS. It is not aware of this nas.setup.info. So we need to add that to the trusted. It says it is in config/config.php. So let's go to var/www.html. There's OwnCloud. Let's go to config and config.php. So let's see. It's Apache, so we should be able to. No, we're going to have to use root. Sudo nano config.php. Put in our password. Trusted domains. So as you can see here, NAS is in here. So we're going to add a new entry and call it nas.setup.info. No comma after it because it's the last one in the list. So let's save this file. And now let's go back here, refresh the page, and we're in. So that's it. We now have our own cloud, personal cloud, using an SSL certificate. And we're encrypted. So we've achieved our goal for this video. If you have any comments or questions, please post them below. And please like this video. Also ask if you could subscribe and hit the bell and share this video with as many people as possible. As you can see, setting this stuff up takes just a little bit of work, but it's well worth it. And you have complete control over everything. So in the next video, we will start getting into how to add storage to our cloud system, how to set up encryption on the hard drives. I will probably also show a web GUI that will simplify management of the system from a software package called Webmin. So until then, I hope to see you later.